Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, oh my god, that this is happening. I'm in shock. Hello, welcome back to the Morning Rain podcast. If you went to high school with me, there is no way you do not know who this is.
Hey.
If you did not go to high school with me, so this used to be my, what was it, U.S. or World History?
U.S.
It was U.S. This was my AP U.S. History teacher in junior year.
Ava, how did you do on that exam?
I did, wait, fuck, I can't remember. I can't remember if I got a 1 or a 2. I think it was a 2.
It was a 2.
Yeah, AP's really not for me.
She tried.
I really gave it my best.
The effort was there.
I would just try to think about it because I remember you explaining it like with pop culture and I was like, oh, like we've got this. And the test came and it was like not, I couldn't like.
Everyone has the same fucking name. It's like, how many Johns can there really be?
Yeah, for real. Today, I'm going to be interviewing my former teacher.
Hey.
This is so iconic. Like, oh, I really need to like bask it in because this is going to be the one I talk about the most. I did it. I peaked. I did it.
I'm going to remind you of you saying you peaked having me on your podcast and you're like at the Call Her Daddy level. And I'm going to be like, hey, listen, I know that like you have Chase Stokes on this week, but like please remember you peaked with me.
And I'm going to be like, you're right. Like I literally did. And all the famous people I get on, if you want to be there, like I'll make sure. So you can meet them.
I think probably like there isn't anyone that I'm like, oh my God, I got to be there for, except Taylor Swift, obviously.
Yeah. But like not Morgan Wallen. Just to like.
See, I fear that, like, that would ruin some of the magic of, like, liking the way he is.
True.
He's just, like...
This is true.
He doesn't really talk to a lot of people. Like,
he doesn't.
He doesn't. And
literally?
I feel like that keeps the magic alive. Whereas if he, like, started to talk, I would, like, easily find something to get the ick about and just be like,
This is true. But I will say, when he was walking out on stage, I was like, oh, okay.
I did not have that feeling. That's not my thought.
Oh. Well, I just feel like I needed to tell somebody that because I never found him attractive before. What I really want to get into is the obviously her being a teacher and the life that she has while being a teacher. All right, let's get started. I wrote everything on these flashcards so I can look professional. And I'm like crumpling them up. Okay. Okay, but for real, like so you went to college, you went to
St. Leo, which is in Florida.
Did you always want to become a teacher?
Actually, no. I like a bunch of my friends were like in school for elementary ed. I always was like, there's no way I could ever like spend all my time with kids. Like and I think the issue was like I had friends who were doing elementary ed. I had done like camps where I would coach like younger kids, and that age group is like good for me in like doses.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But I am simply too mean to be like an elementary school teacher because like with you guys, I could be like, Ava, what the hell were you thinking?
I know.
Like, why would you do that? But if you look at a 4th grader and you're like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Tears.
Yeah.
Day ruined. We've lost the plot. Like we're never going to get back to math. Like, and I just simply, I'm not built for that life.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
So no, I did not think I was going to be a teacher. It was actually like my 3rd career. I was a victim witness advocate.
Okay.
Like fresh out of grad school.
Oh my God.
That was like my internship. So I was just like, yeah, let me ride this train forever.
Okay.
And it was just so sad. Like,
yeah. I can't. Oh my God. Yeah.
And there would be people that would like come and get a restraining order, and then like 3 days later would come back and like get it lifted. And I'm just like, my brother in Christ. Like I remember one guy, I had to basically write his entire restraining order like evidence down for him because both of his hands were broken because his girlfriend and him had gotten in a fight and she beat him with golf clubs, and he just put his hands up like this and she just beat his hands and broke his hands. So like this man literally 2 broken hands.
Oh my God.
So I'm like writing his affidavits and stuff out for him. And like that's tasks because like it has to be verbatim what he's saying.
Right.
So like he said this and I'm like, hold on, stop. and then I'd
No,
write,
yeah.
and then I'd be like, okay, go, and then I'd be like, stop.
Yeah.
So I could like get it exactly. And so like that.
Oh my God.
And then literally 3 days later, that double-casted man was back getting it lifted and was like, yeah, because like love is crazy, you know? And I'm like, yes, like love is crazy, but not beat you with a golf club crazy.
And you like can't say anything, right?
We can be like, are you sure? Like, are you doing this of your own volition?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. This is true.
Safe?
Right, but
yeah.
oh my God.
There were like funny moments too, and maybe this just shows how like dark my humor is.
Oh no, I'm scared.
Because this one guy that we were trying to find evidence to like get a restraining order.
Okay.
And he would like send, once she blocked his number and like had figured out how to block like stuff on the phone, he would send emails. And once he realized she wasn't reading the emails, he would just send like subject line. But like then he would do like burner phone numbers. And one time he wrote, I'm not gonna say her name.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, blank, seeing you is like when I order a 12-piece chicken nugget and get 13. And I was just like game represents game, or game recognizes game.
Like,
but also like, sir, she has a restraining order. You're in a no contact.
yeah.
Like, do not text her and tell her you saw her out randomly. Like,
oh my God,
you
wait.
just admitted that you saw the woman you were not supposed to be within like 300 feet of. Like, it had its good stuff, but I think it was just, there was so few good.
Yeah.
That like, it was always so sad. Like, it was always like someone who's like had their parents had like a new partner, and the parent took the partner's side, even though the parent was like abusing them. And I was like, okay, well, can't help. And like, if they weren't 18, they needed a parent guardian to sign off on like all this stuff. And I'm like,
God.
oh my God. So that was really hard.
I definitely get why you would not want to do that.
So I was like, okay, yeah, I can't do that. And I was like really, really miserable, like living in Massachusetts in the winter. That just like was not it for me.
Wait, were you born there?
No, but like all my family's from up there, and so we would like go back and visit in the summers and stuff. So like, I liked it, and in my head, I like was like, yeah, I could live there. Like, I love my family. I love like that whole vibe. And then like I had my first like true New England winter, and I was like, this is terrible.
Yeah. Okay.
But so, cause like summer in New England and fall in New England, fucking prime. And so then I moved home and I started working for Disney, and that was like fun. Because, like, I had a fun job at Disney, and then I, like, tried to get a job with Disney in my degree field, and I became an undercover security operative at Disney, which, like, I can't really talk much about, mostly for, like, other people's safety.
Oh, my God.
And it should have been the most fun job ever, but it was, like, a bunch of men who would look at me and be like, sweetie, do you even understand security?
Oh, my God.
And I, like, one time I looked at a man and I was like, sweetie, the fact that you didn't go to college and are trying to tell me just because you sat here and have been in this like line of business for so long but haven't adapted to using a fucking cell phone. Like, my brother in Christ, you don't know how to screenshot. You don't get to tell me shit. Like, you don't know how to convert to a PDF. Like, please pipe down.
And then you landed on being a teacher.
I actually like fell into being a teacher. It was like an accident. So I was coaching lacrosse. And then I, like, it's really hard to have a real job and be a, like, lacrosse coach, and I really liked coaching. So I was like, have a master's degree, so it's, like, really easy for me to get a teaching license. So I was like, okay, let me try this. If I like it, I'll stick with it. If I hate it, at least I have a job. Because post-COVID, I was, like, jobless. That was super fun.
Yeah.
Applied to be a teacher, got my, like, teaching license, reached out to the principal, and I was like, hey, I'm your lacrosse coach, and, like, I've applied for this job, and, like, 3 days later, I had the job.
Oh, my God.
Like, that was it. I was, like, a long-term, year-long sub, because that year, they had a bunch of teachers that were going to be on maternity leave, like, all right after each other. So they were like, well, we have, like, a position for you if you want it. And I was like, okay. And then it was opening, and a bunch of my friends who'd become my, like, good teacher friends, they were like, no, we're leaving. And I was like, well, like, if there's a job opening up, I might as well go. So I applied, and then I got that job. So I was like, F it, we ball. Like, I wanted to be a part of, like, opening up a new school, because that, to me, I was like, that's so cool. Like,
yeah. You're at your third school right now, right?
Yeah.
And then how long have you been teaching?
5 years. So 3 schools in 5 years. That's what we should do for the promo from, like, the back of my head, where I just should be like, I'm a D1 yapper, and then I go, cut that.
Okay, we'll do that at the end.
But cut that.
I don't know why it's so funny, but it is. Okay. You told me how you got the job at my former high school. I want to know your experience there because, so I'm just going to explain it from my side real quick.
Yeah, I would love to hear your guys' perspective because I feel like I was a parent who then just abandoned you all.
Yeah, okay. Well, I wasn't going to say that, but I was going to say, so she was one of my teachers junior year. Obviously, her and I are close. Like, we're like this. And then senior year, it comes out, like, she's like, oh, yeah, I'm not going to be there. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, what? Literally, what? Obviously, the students, like, didn't really know anything. I just know it didn't work out and you didn't really like it. And that was it. But I don't know, like, the details, and I need to know. I need to know what you can tell me.
It was a very small group of teachers. That part's pretty important because, like,
it was.
When we started, you only had juniors, sophomores, freshmen. And I was a U.S. history teacher, so I was only teaching the juniors. So, like, there was not a senior class, which meant, like, the juniors kind of were, like, adjusting to being, like, the big dogs on campus.
Yes.
There was a group of us teachers that were, like, very much, let's get to know these kids. Let's figure out what they like. Let's figure out how we can make being at school post-COVID an experience that, like, kids want to be proud of again. You guys had been robbed of so much of your high school experience.
It was weird, for sure.
There was a core group of us that was like, okay, like, let's get to know these kids. Let's figure out what these kids like. Let's figure out, like, how can we reach these kids in a way that they, like, want to be back at school? Because no one wants to be back at school.
Yeah, well, I always loved school, so I was ready. But there were, definitely a lot of kids. And I remember at first, too, my high school was, like, not a good high school at first. Remember, like, all the fights and stuff?
Yeah.
That shit got cut out real quick. But at first, it was like, what the is going on?
It was always funny to me because, like, you had a classmate who was quite large, like 6'8".
Oh, okay. I thought you meant large, like.
No, large.
Okay, got it.
And there was, like, a time, I will never forget this. He and his sibling, you know, they went back and forth a little bit, and his sibling had friends who, like, were messing with him, and he just backhanded the shit out of his kid.
Really?
Yeah, and I walked right up and I, like, looked at him and I was like, get in my fucking classroom right now. And he was like, okay. And he, like, turned and walked away. Mostly because, like, I didn't curse. So I think the fact that I, like, dropped the F-bomb, he was like, oh, God.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the other kid and I was like, did you start this or not? And he was like, and I was like, go to class. I was like, we're just going to pretend this never happened. I was like, we're done. I was like, everyone go to your rooms. We're not.
Right.
Less paperwork for me. There were other kids who, like, people did not fight in my hallway. Yeah. It was well known. Like, Porcher's in the hallway. You can't fuck around. Like, it was very well known. It was just like, hey, I can't be late if I have to walk past Miss Porcher because she's going to, like, chirp me. And I did. I was a D1 chirper.
Oh, my God.
But I think, like, the teachers that went out of their way to, like, make those connections, the kids respected more and didn't, like, tussle or trifle. Yeah. Like, I don't think anyone in, like, Miss Terry's room, I don't think people didn't act up in her room. You didn't have her. She was a freshman teacher.
Oh, okay. I was like, literally? Who is that?
People didn't really act up in, like, Hunter's room.
Ugh. It was you and it was him. Yeah. Those were, like, top.
We were the parents.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
I remember
it all too well, let me just say. Like, I'm getting so nostalgic right now.
It was rare. But I also think, like, he and I would joke that we would, like, co-parent. And, like, because we shared a lot of the same kids. And we would, like, joke about, like, we called it love camp. We'd be like, hey, send this person because they're, like, missing stuff.
No, and the thing is it worked. Like, it's weird because, like, at LBV, it was not, like, a normal high school. And that's because it was new, but it worked, like, at least for me, it worked so well. And I think it did, too, for a lot of kids because, like you said, after COVID, it was like, what the hell are we doing here and how do we be here? And it was nice having those types of teachers that were like, well, I care enough, so I'm going to, like, let you know that. At least for me, that's why I loved high school because of, like, the teachers I had. Like, Mr. Wallace, that was, like, I mean, that's literally why I'm in my major. Obviously, you're here right now, and Coach Taylor, and, like, it was just, I loved high school, like, for that. Because the high school I went to before, no. Automatic no.
I have always found when kids see that you show up to their extracurriculars, that is a way of me saying, like, hey, I honor that you are a student athlete. I honor that you're a student performer. I honor, like,
for real,
you're in my room for 50 minutes a day, but, like, you have a life outside, and let me see what you actually like doing.
Yes.
I know you don't like learning about the presidents.
So good.
So I think that, like, there were those teachers, right? There was that crew.
There really was.
And then there was the crew that was well liked by our admin. And they were not necessarily that way. They were kind of I'm not going to remake the wheel. Like, I'm going to teach how I've always taught.
Yeah.
And that just, frankly, did not work post-COVID.
Mm-hmm.
It did not work with the demographic of kids we got at. And I think that those teachers, because they didn't, like, adapt, change, whatever, they were, like, hardos. I feel like I was still hardo about some stuff.
I mean, yeah, but, like, every teacher has their things. Like,
me and the phone, man. Me and the phone.
This? Oh my God. Okay. Let me tell you a story. I had a boyfriend who was older. He was already out of high school.
Full. He was terrible.
What?
I regret nothing about the story she's about to tell.
Okay. Anyway, so I had this boyfriend who was older, was in high school, and
because why was a 20-year-old dating a 17-year-old?
I was in love with this man. Like,
I get that.
I don't even care.
But, like,
I was.
Why was he pursuing you that way?
I don't know. I started it, of course, but
Typical.
I know it is very typical. But whatever, I was in love with this man. Whatever. Point being is, he had called me, and woman over here was like, hand me the phone, and I was like, oh my God, not even like a phone call. It was like a FaceTime, was it not?
Yes, because then I go, why do you think you can call her in my class?
Yeah, and this man got
no,
so
I actually
mad.
think I said, I believe my exact words were, why don't you care enough about Ava's education to not call her while she's in AP US history?
No, literally. And, like, in front of the whole class, I was, like, eating it up. I live for this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is, like, gold to me. And Mans was so mad. He was like, oh my God. Like, you know.
He was like, you can't talk to me that way. I was like, first of all, I was like, I can talk to you however I want.
Oh my God.
You're 20 years old trying to catch a case dating a 17-year-old. Like, absurd. No.
Yeah. Well.
And, where's that boy now?
I have no idea.
Prison, probably.
No, he's not. He's definitely not in prison.
He's not doing anything good with his life.
He's working at Publix.
So prison.
He's an assistant manager, I think.
Prison.
Last time I heard.
So anyways, no, I was like crazy about phones. Crazy. But I tried to give kids grace with stuff like, I let like late work get turned in, but I took points off if it was late.
The snacks.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the snacks. I still do that. Still a big snack girly.
Well, I mean,
okay, like, I have a confession.
Okay.
I know I always am like, oh, it's because, like, if you guys are hungry, you're not going to perform as well, blah, 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 blah. No, it's because if you have a mouthful of Oreos, you are not going to be yapping while I'm teaching.
Wait, that's actually so smart.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Kind of love that for you.
Yeah.
I need to know your, like, favorite and least favorite, like, memory, experience. I know there's a least favorite, I'm sure.
I have two pretty big least favorite. Honestly, one of my favorite memories came when I wasn't even there anymore, but I, like, surprised you all and I went to your graduation.
Yeah.
And, like, so the way your guys' faces who, like, weren't expecting me.
This is
true. And
true.
then I was, like, standing there and I was like, hi. Just, like, that alone was, like, such a fun little, like, moment of, like, these kids, like, did have something of value from my class.
Yeah.
And even if it wasn't U.S. history, I'm gonna touch your hand when I say this. I loved coaching boys lacrosse.
Yeah.
And them
that was like a good group for you.
I think the way that they all like made me their mother.
Yeah.
I like absorbed 18 sons like quite quickly.
No, yeah.
And I was like, hello.
Yeah. Because weren't you like not supposed to be
that is
at
correct.
First? Yeah.
That we didn't have a boys lacrosse coach. And so I like had told our athletic director, I was like, if you can't find anyone, I'll be on the field anyway coaching girls. So, like, I can always help run practices and drills and stuff and whatever. And then she ended up getting the boys soccer coach to, like, say he would do it. So he was the head and I was the assistant. And, like, he learned the game pretty quickly. And I would teach, like, little things here and there. I, like, knew the lacrosse IQ aspect of stuff. But, like, coaching the boys team and, like, seeing kids who had never played lacrosse before at the end of that season, like, making club teams and like falling in love with the sport that like I loved. I think actually probably on the girls' side too, watching kids who like had never had a lacrosse like experience and then at the end of a season being like, I'm gonna play this again. And I was just like, I
just remember the girls' team being very dramatic. There was always Oh my God, I remember it now. I literally remember now that whole situation that happened.
Yeah, that's like a piece of the trauma.
Yeah.
I have 2 least favorites. I'll give you. One is that.
Yeah. I actually so forgot about that. As soon as I graduated high school.
And there's so much that happened behind the scenes with
I'm sure.
So, one of them is there was a teacher that was also teaching, and she was like the head of our little PLC, which is your like learning community.
Oh, okay. I'm like trying to figure it out in my head.
I will never forget, we were sitting in a meeting and I'm sitting at my little desk like with notes and stuff because like I knew my shit for US history. Like I would tell you guys the most intricate nonsense details. So I just knew like random shit. And so I was like, oh, I have found like my kids really like when they learn about this, this, and this. And she would like, she stood over me.
Oh my God, I'm scared.
Like,
I'm scared.
Just a baby. Seated, and she's standing over me, pointing, yelling, like putting her hand. And I was like, so I'm trying to keep my cool because at this point I already know admin doesn't like me. So I'm trying not to respond or react in this meeting because I've already like kind of
ruffled some feathers, whatever.
I wouldn't say I ruffled feathers. It was already just like the statements that were being made about me were like that I like was not serious. And I was like unprofessional, and I was like, okay, like this woman is literally screaming at me, but if I stand up and scream back, I'm gonna be the problem. So I was like, okay. And I just
Good for you.
I remember sitting there nodding. And then when the meeting was like over, I stood up, gathered my things, did not say a word to anyone, walked into my room, and I just started sobbing.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Ugly crying. Erin Eberhardt, she like came in with a key because she had a key to everyone's, and she came in and I'm like sitting there ugly crying, and I was like, how is she just allowed to talk to me like that? And like Erin's like, she's not like Erin's like, that was unacceptable. I can't believe they allowed that to, like she's like there like pulling me up because we had like 8 minutes, so kids were walking into my class.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay. Who was this teacher? Do I know her?
She got fired.
Wait. Okay. The one
that they all said was racist.
Yeah. I've never. Okay. I never have fucking heard of her, seen her face. All I know is she got fired, and that was it.
Yeah.
I don't even know her name.
Yeah. So
let it go.
Clearly, I was not the problem, but
yeah, you were not.
So 2 of the lacrosse girls beefed. They were both
hard.
They were both very alpha personalities, and like one of them cared a lot about lacrosse. Like cared a lot about lacrosse. Wanted to be good. Love. Wanted to like create a like lacrosse program that like was going to be good. I think that is like very commendable. Like going to a new school and being like, we're gonna be good.
Yeah.
And we actually like weren't terrible.
No, you weren't.
And then I left. Then the other girl was also very alpha and dominant personality, and she like wanted to like have all the good and the winning and like all that stuff, but she also wanted to party like all the time. Yeah. And the party girl missed a game because she was high and told everyone that like because she had gotten, it was like her birthday or something, and she had like gotten just shit-faced.
Oh my god.
And so like couldn't come to the game, and she told everyone that she had an allergic reaction, was in the hospital.
But she wasn't in the hospital at all,
Not in the
obviously.
hospital at all.
Deeply serious about lacrosse, that's person A, and then the one who wasn't is person B. I feel like that might be
Deeply
easier.
serious about lacrosse, we'll call her G.
Okay.
And then party girl, we'll call her K.
Okay.
Okay, so G, so serious about lacrosse, like very commendable, hard worker. Like the work ethic on that kid was crazy. G found out that K had lied.
Yeah.
And was just shit-faced.
Yeah.
And so G like was understandably pretty upset. So she like said something, and then K and her little group of friends like walked around the school chasing G, trying to like beat her up.
Yes, I fucking remember this, and it was crazy.
They went into Hunter's room.
Yes, I know. And Kay literally was like, if you don't fucking let me in this room, she like was like, I'm never gonna speak to you again. I know whose side you're on. And I'm like, this is like actually insane.
Yeah. It was like,
I know. Yeah, I know.
So then I, with another teacher who knew them both, had a conversation with both of them where, when I tell you, Ava, they were both right there in front of me, and I gave them the exact same lecture of like, this is so embarrassing, like, not just like for you two, but for your entire team, because it's not G and K are doing this, it's 2 girls lacrosse players are trying to like tussle. Yeah. And I was like, so like, and if everyone walking around in their like Oh shit, we cut that?
I will.
So everyone out there in their like team gear, which was cute AF, by the way. Thank you. Shout out Michael Cacciatore. Like,
love.
Shout out Catch.
Love.
Cute merch. Like, so everyone else walking around in the merch that like has your team name on it has to hear them going, oh my God, did you hear about your teammates trying to fight each other?
Yes, because our school was so small since it was new. So everybody knew everything. Everybody knew everybody. Like the school, you guys don't understand. The graduating class was like, what, 300?
If that.
It was so small. Everything was so small. So everyone knew.
Like, but when I tell you, they both sat in front of me and got the same lecture. And I looked at them both and I was like, you are both leaders in your own way. And I had a witness because you're your own play. So Kay and her little buddies all went and like wrote witness statements that I was meaner to her than I was to G.
Oh my God.
That I treated her different because she was Hispanic. And that I was racist.
Oh my God. I did not know this, obviously.
Well, and I think what's so funny about she's racist against Spanish people. Like, I didn't spend that whole year trying to learn more Spanish so I could teach better.
Yeah.
Like, that whole year, I learned so much Spanish. I like, sounded more like an angry Venezuelan mother. Like, usa tu cabeza, piensa, por favor, mija.
We had a lot of kids who only spoke Spanish.
So my whole thing was like, okay, I'm going to learn Spanish. You're going to learn English. We're going to make this work.
Oh
and
my
so,
God.
like, I just thought that was almost funny.
Yeah.
Like, obviously it wasn't funny because, like, that accusation is, like, deeply harmful.
Oh, my God.
But yeah,
I like him.
That I was racist. Only against Spanish people. And, like, I think the thing that I found so deeply unserious is that when the principal, like, came to talk to me about all of this and, like, tell me about these, like, very serious accusations and whatever, this is the same man who had yelled at me.
Oh, my God.
For putting my, like, lessons and stuff in Spanish and trying to speak Spanish because I wasn't doing enough to, like, help them integrate into American culture by, like, trying to speak Spanish. So I wanted to look at him and be like, be so fucking for real.
Right?
Like, you have not been up my asshole.
Oh, my God.
Because of the Spanish I'm trying to learn and teach and integrate into my lessons. He, like, did all that, and I, like, looked at him, and I was like, you know that's not true. And he goes, I know it's not true. He goes, and most everyone knows it's not true. And he even said, he was like, and Kay is not a good person. Like, he said, he was like, he was like, she treats everyone around her badly. She has a bad attitude.
Oh, my God.
She's often dishonest to try and get away with things. He goes, I know all of this. And he goes, but, like, I still have to say something about these statements. And I was like, okay, you've said it.
Like, for real.
And then...
Oh, my God.
And this was, like, actually the thing that drove me to leave the school.
Okay, what?
Was he was like, I think that everyone has, like, a professional core, and it's, like, a box. And it's a box that's, like, inside of them. And, like, in that box goes, like, your teaching philosophies and, like, your classroom management. And, like, he's like, and all the little things that, like, you do that's, like, and, like, you can take things from other teachers and, like, you can learn other things. But, like, your professional core is, like, how you operate when, like, no one is watching. And it should be, like, a box with very firm boundaries. And he was like, and your professional core is fuzzy.
What the fuck?
And then...
What the hell?
This man looked me in my beautiful hazel eyes. And he said, and I think you need to find your self-worth.
What?
And I just said, okay. And I said, thank you for your time. I got up and I left.
What the hell?
So I get up, I leave. I, like, cried.
Yeah, I don't fucking blame you.
So I cried. I, like, spent that whole weekend just, like, so sad. Like, you're a bad teacher. You're unprofessional. You're bad at your job.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
my
it
God.
Was so, like, just so much negative self-talk because, like, the person at the very top of, like, my job profession at the time had said that to me. Like,
yeah.
No self-worth and, oh, your professional core's fuzzy. So, like, you're unprofessional and you hate yourself. I applied to... Oh, shit. Cut that. I applied to the school I'm at now. 7 minutes after I sent that email, I get a call.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, is this is this a sign?
It is. It literally is.
And it was. And then I told that principal, I was like, by the way, I just wanted you to know, like, I am interviewing at this school for this position because you have me teaching U.S. history when my master's degree is in psychology.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm good at U.S. history, like, subtle flex. Like, good at U.S. history, but, like, my master's degree is in psychology. You told me that was a potential, like, class for me to be teaching.
Yeah.
And then you brought in someone new. And then he looked at me and was like, I've found that teachers that chase a certain schedule are very rarely happy.
What the fuck is he constantly talking about?
Like,
Literally.
Just so miserable. Just like a deeply unhappy person.
I actually have my own story of this man.
Oh,
and this was the only time I've ever spoken to him.
Oh, was this when he dress coded you?
No, he never dress coded me. It was, I was walking to class with a former friend, whatever, and her brother. And we were walking to class, and it was like 7:15, whatever. And we walked through the side doors, because this was like when we were allowed to use those. And he was like standing there, and like I was talking to the brother of the friend, and something about like ambition and getting to class. And we were, like, speaking to him about it or whatever. And he literally looks at me and he goes, yeah, it's called ambition. Do you know what that is? And I literally just walked away from him because, like, that's insane for you to speak to a student, a growing student like that, who's trying her best. The expectations for teachers in their lives outside of teaching.
So I keep my life very private in the sense that, like, no one in my classroom knows what's going on in my life.
Yeah, this was true.
Like, I would talk to you guys, like, and give advice about, like, prior situations, but, like, my students would be like, oh, do you have a boyfriend? And I'm like, who's to say?
Yeah, literally. Literally.
But I think the other, like, you want to connect with your students. You want them to, like, know who you are, things like that. But, like, I have a separate, like, a completely separate entity of, like, social media where I have, like, my teaching and coaching Instagram, which, like, I post reminders, which, like, I have a class pet. It's an axolotl. His name is Pepper. Shout out Pepper.
Love.
And, like, if I have to post a reminder for my class, I'll, like, take a picture of Pepper in his tank, and I'll be like, Pepper wants everyone to remember. And, like, it's a great resource because, like, the kids can all see my announcements, things like that, because despite the fact that I say to check the announcements on Canvas,
they don't.
No one ever does.
Yeah.
Do they?
No. But honestly, this was you were the first teacher I've, like, met, whatever, who, like, had an Instagram like that. I was so fucking hyped when I found this out. I have never, so fast. I'm not even kidding, guys. I ate it up.
I think what I really liked doing was, like, when you guys would accomplish something, I could, like, repost it and be like, that's my student, which also became it became a tradition.
Yeah, it did. No, but remember at a basketball game when he missed the... Yeah. That was iconic. That was literally iconic.
One of my students who I shared with Coach Taylor, he said that, like, I never went to football games. And I was like, I'm literally there. And he's like, well, how am I supposed to know I don't hear you? And I was like, challenge accepted. So then whenever they would call his name, I would yell, like, deep from my chest, like the loudest I could project. I'd be like, that's my student. And, like, the first time I did it and he heard it, he, like, whipped his head around and he, like, pointed. And I was like, yes. Because then I knew in that moment he was never going to be able to say shit to me again. Yeah. It just became a thing. And so then I did it at every one of their, like, games or performances. Like, I had a student who, like, she was in all the plays. And when she would come out to do her bow, I would stand and yell, that's my student! And, like, she knew I was there. Same with, like, the kids in band. So we had this student, and he was in my class at the age of 14.
Yeah. And we were all, what, 16,
17. So he had skipped a bunch of grades because during COVID, he just cranked classes out. So he was technically a sophomore, but was a freshman, was in AP US history. I don't even know what's going on with that. And he would absolutely just, like, decimate people on the regular. It would be great because I'd be like, well, yeah, because... And then he'd turn around and go, well, yeah, she told us on this date if you'd been taking notes.
Yes! Oh, my God. This shit that would freaking brew up in 6th period, lived for it. Literally lived for it. That's why I never learned history. That's why I never learned history, because I'm like, okay, who's going to say some shit today? Am I going to be the one to do it? Is someone else? Out of pocket. Wildly out of pocket. Yeah, or like, yes, when the 6'8" fucking student would open his mouth. Do you remember that one time he got dress coded and he had to wear his shirt inside out? And he literally was like, I'm not gonna get dress coded. Leaves the class for whatever reason. Comes back and like
dress coded.
Yes, literally comes back with his shirt inside out, and we're all sitting there like, or that time he had a Band-Aid on his neck, and I was like, wait, what did I say? Oh yeah. Okay, so we literally stopped class to have this discussion because
we did not stop class.
We as a class, not her, but like the students.
I'm over there trying to click through my fucking slides, and these guys, like, they would finish their notes, and I'd be like, does anyone need more time? But the kid in the back would be like, I still need more time. And so the kids who were done with notes would just turn and start yapping.
Hold on, let me tell this real quick, because I also forgot about that. But basically, man's had a Band-Aid on his neck. We all know he wasn't hurt. And out of like nowhere, I just go. I don't know why I said this, but I literally am like, yeah, so like, how did she get up there? Like, how did she like do what she needed to do?
And I at that point lost my cool, because like I'm up there and I'm trying to be like, oh, let's leave him alone, like stop, like guys stop, like come on, like back, and I'm trying to like pull everyone back. Ava goes, how did she even like get up there? And that was when I was like, nope, we're done.
I'm sorry.
Lost the plot.
Guys, I've never seen like a man that tall. Like he could literally like if he was on his tippy toes right now in this room, like he'd probably almost touch the ceiling. Like he was so tall, and I was just, and at the time he was talking to this girl who was like what 4'11". She was like, remember her? I don't remember her name.
I don't either. I just remember that
she was like what a freshman, and he was a junior or something.
And his grades started slipping, and I was chirping him for that.
And she was really short. What the hell was her name?
I gave him a hard time for being late to my class one time. Mm-hmm. I was like, do not be walking a freshman to class and be late to mine.
Yeah.
And he was never late to my class again.
So, yeah, the expectation for teachers in their lives.
In their lives, I think, like,
outside of teaching.
And I keep my, like, real life very private.
Yeah. Yeah. This is what we like,
stemmed
off so bad.
Big veer there. But I think, like, part of it is, like, like, I'm a person.
Yeah.
I have, like, a wildly uninteresting life. But, like,
okay.
I have a life. Like, I have a life.
Right.
And I think that, like, there's so much pressure to, like, not ever expose your real life to your students for fear that it'll, like, break some imaginary, like, boundary that's, like, not real. But, like, if we live in Florida. If I want to go to the beach, like, do I stress every time that I'm going to see a student? Absolutely. But, like, I still go to the beach. Like, I don't tell people when I'm at the beach. Like, and if I run into them, we have a rule. All my students and I have a rule, and it's, if you see me out in the public.
Like, no, you don't.
No, you don't. There it is. Look at you remembering.
I'm like, wait, yes, because when Halloween Horror Nights was in session, you would say that every day. You would literally be like, okay, guys, I'm going, but I'm not going if you're there. Like,
but if you see me, no, you don't. And I just think, well, and, like, on top of it, it's, like, awkward for kids, I think. For you, like, if you're out with your friends doing hood rat things with your hood rat friends, and then all of a sudden, like, Miss Porcher rounds the corner, like, that's going to change how you feel. So I think that we should have, like, a little bit of a separation of understanding that, like, teachers have lives. Yeah. And, like, if you see a teacher out, leave them alone.
See, okay.
Like, if you were to see me out on a date,
I would, okay. I'm sorry.
First of all, you would take photos.
I'm just like in love with you. I literally would be like, oh my god, hey!
You'd be like taking photos of every angle of this poor man's face, and then analyze it with 6 period later.
I was just like, me personally with her, I would just tell her everything.
Right.
Like if there was something going on, I'd be like, Miss Rochelle, I need to tell you about my 20-year-old boyfriend right now. Like, this is insane.
I need everyone to know. I'm gonna be so beyond clear. My advice to my students still is, by the way, when they're like, oh, I'm having a problem, I'm like, break up.
She literally, I was just going to say that every single time. Break up.
Just break up.
Literally
and
break up.
Like, oh my god, that's not a realistic solution. And I'm like, okay, the reality of this whole situation is, this is supposed to be the, like, happiest point. Like, it's early in the relationship. You don't have bills. You don't have responsibilities. No one's paying a mortgage or an insurance plan. What are you fighting about?
Yeah.
And, like, if you're crying now, like, are you dating a boy or are you dating an onion? Like... But, like, and I still am that way. People will be like, oh, what should I do about it? I'm like, break up. And they're like, that's not real. And I'm like, I'm so beyond real. And also, have I ever been wrong? Did you end up marrying
Oh my
your little felon
God.
boyfriend? No.
Okay, no, but also this is really true. Like we had there was this girl and this guy, and since the beginning, Miss Rochelle was like, "Oh, they're gonna date," and everyone was like, "No, they literally don't like each other." Like whatever. Senior year comes around.
No,
What do
I
you
did
know?
junior year.
Oh, it was. I don't remember. Do you know what I'm talking about though? Right?
Yeah.
They
We
were
went to
like
prom together.
they just best friends, yada yada, and they dated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I texted Coach Taylor. I was like,
Yeah.
these two like each other, and he was like, no. And then he like started noticing in his class,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, do you see?
Well, what's weird is at first too, Kay was trying to get with him. I'm pretty sure. I didn't think so. I can't remember. But yeah. Anyway, that didn't work.
That doesn't shock me.
Well, yeah, because remember at first he was like man whore.
Oh yeah.
He was. That was like not good.
Well,
for
and
him.
he would come to me and be like, what do I do?
Oh my
And I'm like,
God.
okay, well, like, I think you need to be honest. And like, I think the other thing too is I fear we have created an like environment where kids feel like they can't go to like adults about the stuff that's going on.
Especially like teachers. Yeah.
But
that's
like
all I was
I
gonna say.
feel like you can have like an honest conversation with kids where you go like, hey, like you need to be honest about like what you're looking for in your interaction with this person.
Yeah.
And like if you can't be honest, think of why that might be.
Yeah.
And like I think when they realize like I can give them advice without like encroaching too much on their lives, that's kind of where connections get formed.
Yes, and okay, this is why I was talking about my experience at my school was so good because like you don't always want to talk to your parents, like you don't always want to like, and so having teachers who will like do that, oh my God, it worked out so well for me. Like I loved it.
I love that for you.
I know. I was like, oh, that okay, not my prime at all, but like for my high school experience, that was my prime. Like
I cried every day at that school.
See, and honestly, okay, you are amazing and so strong because you were going through such a hard time. One, I didn't even know that. And two, I was like so happy that like you were my teacher. I was like, this is so good for me.
Well, and I think part of it, that like is another layer of like the expectations for teachers. Like, like I went through this like, I don't know if calling it a breakup is really valid. I went through this like thing where like I was sad over a boy.
Yeah.
So embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's okay.
But I remember like I still had to show up. Like I couldn't take a day off because like I have such teacher guilt too. I think that's like my biggest problem is like when you teach an AP subject, like you have to teach them a certain amount of content before a certain date.
Yeah.
And so like I literally, do you remember when I taught you guys with COVID?
Wait, say it again.
Do you remember right before Thanksgiving break how I showed up to teach you guys so I could kill Lincoln off before Thanksgiving break? And I was like sitting at the front of the room and I was like,
yes.
And do you remember I was like sitting so unwell? And like I remember your friend that you're no longer friends with was like, oh, that's like a harsh cough. Are you okay? And I was like, honestly, no. I was like, I'm sweating. Like, I was like, I'm pretty sure I have bronchitis. And I was like, but you guys, I was like, I have to get through this content with you guys.
Yeah.
So like we have to.
I definitely
to
do
boss
remember
through
that now that you say it.
And so like, I think we forget that teachers like have a life. And so like
we really do.
I
As
had
students.
so many bad days at that school. Like I was crying every fucking day.
I like can't even believe that.
And
I never would have like guessed.
Well,
honestly.
and that's the thing is like that's not your burden.
Well, yeah, true.
Like me having like a shitty time with people who are telling me that I'm bad at my job.
Yeah.
I will never fucking forget. Do you remember when I had you guys do the like thing where it was like we were learning about the like when the political parties first formed, and I was like, okay, as a group, like, are you fiscally...
and debate? Or is that what you're saying?
It was like you had to come up with a PowerPoint presentation, and I was like, are you fiscally conservative? Are you fiscally a Democrat or Republican? Socially a Democrat or Republican?
Yeah.
And then I was like, and then like on a military stance,
right.
And this was when like the first political parties had been created,
right.
So we're talking like founding fathers,
Yeah.
like Constitution type shit.
Okay.
And everyone put Taylor Swift and like Barack Obama in their thing because you guys were trying to like make it relevant to like your current. And she said that was unprofessional.
Who?
One of the admin who like came in to do my assessment.
Oh my God.
And I like I had to fight it, and I did fight it because I was like, fuck no, I'm not.
Also, like,
but like I had to bring it in. And it was like one of the like things is meet kids where they are, like develop an understanding based on their current knowledge. And I was like, their current knowledge of like the Democratic Party is Barack Obama. Their current knowledge of like getting people out to vote is Taylor Swift. I was like, those things were relevant. You weren't listening.
Yeah. No,
Like,
I think
you might
so
have been
too.
listening, but did you hear them?
Yeah, no, I think so too. I would always love when you would talk about history and turn it into pop culture.
Yeah.
And make it like girly pop. I was like, this
Well,
is so me.
And, like, you can tell history like it's tea.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you
like
can.
when I had you guys write breakup texts to
I
King
know.
George, like, that is so deeply unserious. But,
Love.
like, how many of you guys remembered way more about the taxation stuff with King George because you wrote a breakup text?
Well, me personally, don't ask, but
It wasn't on your year. They didn't talk about that shit at all.
Oh, okay, good, because I don't
All they
remember,
talked
but
about
I
was,
do
like,
remember.
the buffalo. Your whole AP thing is the fucking buffalo.
I don't.
And westward expansion.
It's blocked out. It's out. It's gone.
But yeah,
No.
the thing I spent like no time on because I was like, if it asks a question about the buffalo, they all got killed off because they wanted to make Native American lives harder. Move on.
I mean, period. I just like, I can't. I don't remember anything.
But like back to what I was saying, like it was never your guys' burden to bear me having a bad day. And I think we forget, like as teachers, like teachers have lives, they have bad days, and so like in those bad days and in their lives, they still have to like show up for some fucking 16-year-old who may or may not be dating a 20-year-old that doesn't treat her right. Like you still have to show up every day, and so like even when you don't want to. So like I guess I'm proud of myself that like you guys
really
had no idea that I was. It was bad, bro.
I know. You should buy yourself a nice present because like I'm really proud of you because I had no idea, and
yeah, no, I was deeply unwell.
I was so sad when I found out that you were like leaving.
Oh my god, I put
I threw a fit. Like
I believe that. No, I didn't know I wasn't coming back at the end of the year. That was the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Was that whole like combo where like my professional core's unfuzzy and I need to find my self-worth happened on a Friday, and then that next week it was just we had Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of school, and that was it.
Oh, okay. So it was like the end.
The end. And I had my interview with my current school on that Thursday.
Oh, shit. Yeah, because I remember, like, I didn't find out until literally, like...
In the summer, like, halfway through the summer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was insane for me.
And I posted it on my teaching Instagram.
Yeah, I threw a fit. Anyway.
But, like, I didn't... It wasn't like I kept it from you guys. I genuinely didn't know.
Yeah.
But I knew I couldn't fucking stay there any longer.
Yeah, no, I literally don't blame you either because... Yeah, I knew teachers who either loved or hated him, and there was, like, literally no in between.
But I also think it was, like, if you were not in his little, like, core group,
yeah, because
you did not get treated well.
All of those teachers that loved him, like, came from the school he was at previously, no? So, like, it just... Even though one of them didn't like him, who also came from his school, I'm pretty sure. Okay, well, the next thing I want to talk about is how you manage life with a 9-to-5 Monday through Friday. Because you do have a life. Like, you go out
I'm
and
more
stuff.
of a 7 to 3, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't know why I said 9 to 5. But anyway, Monday through Friday, you're working 7 to 3, teaching future, like, the future generation. Literally, actually crazy.
Probably not very well, to be honest.
Oh my god, no, stop. I feel like I turned out pretty great, don't you think?
Admit it best.
And so, like,
he's not loading.
Because I've seen TikToks of other teachers. You go out and then you just go to school the next morning like you never went out? Or you try to keep it low-key during the weekend?
I don't go out during weekdays. And, like, it's really funny because, like, my friends will text me and they'll be like, oh, we're doing this. And I'll be like, on a school night?
Yeah.
And, like, it's actually so funny because I was, like, my parents were very strict when I was growing up.
Oh, okay.
Like, I did not have a fun, cool, like, understanding parent. That was not the vibe in the Porcher household. If it wasn't lacrosse or, like, athletics related or, like, an honor society or something, like, nothing was done on a school night. And now I am that way where I'm like, yeah, it's a school night. I'm simply not doing that. Like, immediately, no. Thank you. I feel like sometimes I miss out on stuff. Like, when my friends do, like, oh, we're going to do happy hour at Topgolf. I'm like, a Wednesday at like 9 p.m. I'm like, bro, I'm literally, my alarm's going off at 5 in the morning.
I was going to say, especially since you teach high school, like, you have to be up so early. Like, that's insane. What I've seen on TikTok or whatever, some teachers just do it anyway. But you simply cannot. Which I don't blame you because I would need the sleep too.
Well, and I think part of it is like, I simply am not capable of like phoning it in. Like, if I'm cranky or tired or like not well, you know it. Like, I've looked at you and been like, I do not feel good. I need everyone to not talk today.
Yeah.
And I also think when I come in and I'm honest like that, where I'm like, listen, I'm unwell, so I need you guys to not yap because I can barely talk past like this level. I think that honesty, like, at least everyone goes, oh shit, okay, I'll chill. And they do. But I think that I just am not able to like phone it in or like fake it or whatever. And I just feel like everyone would know. And
Yeah,
it's like a fear.
Oh, of like you going out and then going to school the next day.
They would know it was hungover. Or like, because like there have been times where I'm like, I'm ill and like I don't feel well. And I'll be like, I just really don't feel well. And kids will be like, were you out late last night? And I'm like, no, I was in bed by 9:30. It's wild. Because like I have friends who are teachers, like, and they'll be like out.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And then they make it in and I'm like,
literally. So, okay, since you don't do, like, you don't go out on the weekdays, do you, like, go crazy on the weekends? Or even then, you're just not, like, really a going out person? Like,
I have my moments.
Mm-hmm. Like phases?
Like this past weekend, I was, like, out.
Girl, I saw it.
You were out. But, like, that's not every weekend.
Okay.
And I always go to the beach at least one day on my, like, weekend off. So either Saturday or Sunday, you will find me either at the beach or by a body of water in some way, shape, or form. Like, I am such, like, a sun worshiper type person where, like, I need to be outdoors. I need to be in the sunshine. I'm, like, a little lizard. Like,
good for you.
Lizard time, photosynthesizing, like, all that.
Yeah.
So I, like, but I also am at the point in my life where, like, I don't need to drink to, like, have a good time anymore. You'll get there. It's fine. I have a rule, though. If you are at a 21 plus establishment and, like, I know you're not 21, you have 90 seconds to get the fuck out of there.
Oh, my God.
And then I'm snitching. I'm telling the bartender, I'm telling the bouncer, I'm like, that one is 18 and in my third period.
Oh my
like,
God.
I'm not playing.
I mean, I don't blame
like,
you for
I'm
that
less, I probably would be less, like, you know, strict about it if you're, like, graduated and in college and whatever. But if you are, like, my student or a student that I know is still a high school student and I see you out, like, you have 90 seconds and I'm snitching.
Yeah.
Like,
that's actually crazy because I never did anything like that.
I had to.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Ugh, I just, like, wasn't that kid. I don't know.
I wasn't either.
So, obviously, you get the summers off with being a teacher.
Yeah, but I get a job because I don't want to be broken bored.
So, in the summer, you get a job?
Yeah.
Okay. And is that, like, also, like, do you work it full-time? Like, or you just kind of...
Yeah, and I work it full-time with, like, the knowledge that they know. Like, sometimes I'll tell a job, like, I'm quitting when school starts. Like, I didn't like this experience. I'm going to finish it out, and I'm going to quit when school starts.
Okay.
And they're pretty cool about that. And then, like, the job I have right now, I'll probably still work, like, limited hours during, like, the school year just because I like the people I work with and I like the job. Teachers do not get paid enough.
Do you guys get paid during the summer or no?
You can.
Oh, okay.
So you
but
can
you
set
have
it
to
up.
work?
No, you can set it up so that you're getting paid 10 months out of the year or 12 months out of the year. The big thing, though, is, like, if the money is sitting in the school, like, district's bank account, they're collecting interest on your money. Because it's sitting in their bank waiting to go into yours. So I'm like, nah, pay me my 10 months. I'll figure it out for the 2 I'm not getting paid. And I always do. But then I'd rather it sit in my savings and collect interest than in the schools.
Right. So. Okay. Yeah, obviously I did not know that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, teachers don't get paid enough.
They really don't.
Vote to pay teachers more.
Yeah, for real. That's insane.
Yes.
This freaking stupid guy, okay, let me not, like rip him a new one, but this, like, guy on the Jaguars, Jacksonville, NFL, whatever, he's, like, literally getting paid $12 million a year to be a kicker.
Okay, we can talk about Harrison Butker, who is
that?
The guy who said that women's best...
Oh.
Let's rip him apart because he's trash.
Yeah, like, you're a kicker and you're getting paid $12 million a year. That's, like, that makes me, like, physically, like, mad. Why are you getting paid that much to only sometimes play football?
And to only sometimes be accurate.
Yes, I was just gonna say that.
I have so much pressure to, like, not make mistakes here, not say the wrong thing, like, whatever. Harrison fucking Butker gets to miss half the time. And then go to a commencement speech where he rips apart an entire gender and tells them that the best thing they're ever going to do is be a mom. But it's like, bro, if a teacher had done that.
Yeah. I know.
They'd lose their job.
That whole thing.
Yeah.
I can't.
Which is just, like, there's unrealistic expectations for teachers.
For sure. Yeah, like, being a teacher's a hard job. But I think it's, like, one of the most rewarding, too. I mean,
yeah. I think when, like today I got an email from a student who got a 5 on her AP Psych
Oh my
test.
God, yay.
Slay. And she wrote me this email, and she was like, I was actually, like, really struggling, like, this past year, and, like, here's all the things I'm going to do now, and, like, taking your class in AP Psychology, like, really showed me I do want to do psychology in college and, like, all this stuff. And she was like, I was having a really hard time with, like, you know, some of my anxiety and my, like, ADHD and stuff like that. And she was like, and you just, like, being really understanding and you talking about your ADHD and, like, being just super upfront about, like, it's not a great day today.
Yeah.
She was like, I think that helped me realize, like, not every day is going to be a good day. And, like, it was just, like, a really nice email to get of, like, hey, like, what you did was, like, very helpful. And then I have, like, former students who, like, I got a card from my, like, a kid that I had him last year as my TA, and the year before that, he was in my class. And when I first had him, I could have murdered him. Because, like, he was wicked smart. Like, he was so smart. But, of course, like, was really, like, smart, but off the cuff also, like, just, like, funny. Unfortunately, I do have to admit, he was funny. Yeah. But, like, if the line was here, he would always be like, what if I crossed it? And so, like, at first I was like, you're not a dumb boy. Like, you know better. And then, like, we became, like, we had a better relationship. He, like, read the room. Like, he knew when he couldn't make jokes. And then, like, when he became my TA, like, we got a lot closer. And, like, he wrote me this, like, really nice card. And, like, when I read it, I, like, cried. It, like, stays in my desk. Like, and it was one of those things where, like, I know that, like, I'm a blip in his, like, life, like, big time. But, like, there are lessons that, like, he is going to take from me into, like, other things. And, like, even if, like, and he did, in fact, pass his AP exam. But even if he hadn't passed his AP exam, if he leaves my room a better person than he entered it, I'm okay.
Yes. Yes. So are you planning on being a teacher forever? Do you want to change your career? Or, like, what are your future plans on it?
That's, like, a hard one. Because, like,
you obviously, like, can't predict it, but...
Right, and I really like teaching. Unfortunately, like, the economic aspect of teaching is tough.
Yeah.
So, like, hopefully I marry rich. That is simply a joke, like, for legal reasons, a joke. But, like, I also think, like, being a teacher sets you up eventually for a great schedule to, like, be a mom.
This is true.
Right? Yeah. And so there are so many pros and cons to the teaching. I know that right now there's, like, a ton of people leaving the education, like, profession. And we call it the fucking-ing. I haven't had my fucking-ing yet. I'm sure it's coming. It's, like, the thing. Like, there's one event that, like, we call it the fucking-ing because it's the thing that, like, fucks it all up.
Oh, okay. So, like... Does that usually happen with a student or what?
No, I think a lot of times, like, the ones I've been hearing lately have been, like, a teacher will, like, have said, like, this kid's doing this, like, here's my documentation, here's all this, like, whatever, and then they have, like, a parent-teacher conference and admin, like, looks at the teacher and goes, well, why did you allow that?
Oh, my God.
And teachers are like, I'm simply not doing this anymore. No. And that would be, like, that meeting would be the fucking-ing.
Right.
So as of right now, I'm going to be a teacher for, like, the foreseeable future.
Okay.
But, like, I do joke with my, like, students a lot. I'm like, you're going to be the reason I quit my job. Like, besides your old high school, like, most of it, I've been in a situation where, like, I don't have parents who are unreasonable. I have parents who, like, I present them with, hey, this is exactly what happened, and they're like, oh my God, like,
yeah.
So I think that is helpful. But I also think that, like, who's to say?
Right.
Who's to say?
I think you're a great teacher, so if you keep being a teacher, it'll be good.
Yeah.
For the kids. Hopefully for you too, because sometimes it's hard.
Yeah, well, it could be worse.
Yeah, this is true. Did you hear that? I, like, kind of whistled. I don't know how to whistle.
Not at all?
No. Do you know how to whistle?
Yeah. Do you want me to teach you?
Yeah, teach me how to whistle.
Okay.
Because I've tried.
You gotta put your lips like this, Avi.
I can't.
I can only do it sometimes. Like, if I've gotten fresh Botox, I cannot.
You get Botox?
I get a lip flip and I get my eyes. I don't get it during the summer, though.
Oh my God. I did not know this, and I love that for you.
Yeah.
You get lip filler?
No, I get the lip flip.
You flip it up?
Yeah, they put, like, Botox here, and it, like, causes all of these muscles, so then it, like, not that big.
Yeah.
Obviously.
How often?
Every like 4 to 5 months.
Does it like dissolve or something?
Yeah, it like dissipates.
Interesting.
Yeah. So okay.
Look at you. All right. How do I whistle?
Okay. So like this.
Where does my tongue go?
It just is relaxed. It doesn't go at the top or at the bottom. It just relaxes. Okay. So you have to like experiment with different levels of like just like this. Not
like,
enough.
I know.
You need
I'm
to
trying not to laugh.
You need to put your lips closer. So like.
How am I supposed? Where does the air go? In or out?
Out. The first way I ever learned to whistle though was put your tongue behind your teeth.
Okay, like my up teeth.
Up teeth.
Okay.
And then like blow out.
All right, hold on.
It kind of.
This is so hard. Did you hear it a little bit?
There.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to practice this
You
by
also
myself.
can't be blowing out like. It's like the cheeks have to move. Like, well, look at my cheeks. Ready? Yeah.
Yeah, I
That was
can't.
your lip. You're doing your cheeks. Did people think I got fired?
Yeah, some people did.
Okay.
I mean, but I was like, no, guys, she did not.
When did you and the 20-year-old break up?
My heart. Okay.
Because then you were with T.
Who's T? Look, I don't. Oh. No, that was never official.
Right, but like.
I don't know why I did that. I do, but like I don't.
I mean, he was a nice boy.
Okay, so I broke up with my 20-year-old boyfriend in May. It was May 15th. No, May 16th. And we were just arguing too much, and I broke up with him over the phone. And I was like, oh my God, we're going to get back together. And then we didn't. And I was like, so sad. That heartbreak was like not good.
But we're not going to backslide.
Well, I mean, he hasn't contacted me or anything, so
Good.
I can't do that.
Did they say why they thought I got fired?
Something about just you with the students. Like, you were, like, too friendly with the students or some stupid literal bullshit like that.
Did you ever skip my class?
Yeah.
Bitch.
Okay, being a teacher, is there, like, a lot of drama with the other teachers? Because it's, like...
Not necessarily always. Like, my department at my current school, we're not too bad.
Does it feel like high school?
Once again, not necessarily, like, with my department.
Yeah.
Now. At your high school, it did.
Yeah. I fucking knew it.
Because, like, there were
you
people...
can, like, tell sometimes.
There were people who, like, were treated nicely, and there were
Mhm.
people who were not.
Mhm.
And, like, the people who, like, the principal liked, they, like, walked around like they were just better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could tell, too.
So, like, kind of, but no.
Yeah.
Well, and did you hear about, like, this year, the French teacher that got fired?
At my school?
Yeah.
No, probably not.
Apparently they were, like, catfishing a student.
On what? Like, dating app or?
Insta.
What the fuck? Wait, it was a
It was a girl.
teacher? It was
Teacher.
No.
Pretending to be a teenage boy
To a girl?
to a girl.
Literally, why?
Because the girl...
Which one? The girl student or
the
the
girl
girl...
student had gotten too close to a boy student that apparently the teacher liked.
Oh my God.
Yeah, ick. Big ick.
Wait, was she there when we were there?
I think it was the French teacher.
Who is that?
I don't know. I didn't take fucking French, Ava.
I don't understand how, like, I don't know any of these teachers.
Yeah.
Basically, we're recording something to post where it's like, who is this? And you guys don't know. Did that make sense?
So, like, back of my head.
Oh, I have to go behind you?
Yeah, that's...
Alright, my bad.
Okay, so...
Do I record it, like super close or, like... out?
No, far back-ish.
Oh, wait, should I get out of the way?
Do you want to be in it?
I don't know. But
Just, like, look at the phone.
Yeah, look at, like, I'm doing, like...
it was like behind the scenes.
Yeah. Okay, let me make sure my tattoos aren't in it.
No, they're not.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Well, I'm a D1 yapper. Oh, can you cut that? That's a weird angle of my head. Get more of the microphone. Here,
Okay.
I might have to move. Should I just cut that part?
No, it needs to be long enough. Just, like, talk. I don't know. You do you, Wayne. All
Okay,
right.
wait, I've got an idea.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Can you Cut that.
Thank you so much for watching. I am literally over the moon about this. I'm never gonna shut up about it because this is like so iconic to me. Thank you for coming.
This is so fun.
I'm like literally in love with you, so I hope you know that. I'm your biggest fucking fan.
I just need you to remember this when like Chase Stokes is on The Morning Rain.
Well, do you know he went to what the is that
Timber
school
Creek.
called? Yeah, isn't
He
that
dated
crazy?
my friend Zio.
No way. He's
Yeah.
like 6 now.
31.
No, he's
younger
definitely
than
not
me.
36. Okay, guys. Have an amazing day, night, wherever you're watching this.
It's
Thank
been
you
The Morning
again.
Rain.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Can't wait for this to be aired because it's going to do so well for my podcast. I'm so excited.
It's been The Morning Rain.